That's my jam there. That's the kind of music my brother Lee listens to.
Good evening, people. Welcome to Reaching Out with Eddie. Folks, today my guest is LoLo. The Loretta Allen, Loretta Bennett, however you want to see it. So the name of this show is LoLo Knows, because I tell you every single time, I said, no, Lo, it ain't right there. Guess who'll be right? She does. But Lo, I just want to thank you for being here today.
Appreciate you for
Lo,
having
let's
me.
just get in. Let's just get on in it. Let's just get into it.
That's right.
You sent me a video today, and Dice. Can you send that to Dice? Can you email it? Can you send an email?
I don't think.
But Dice, can you go to Messenger, pull up my Messenger, like say on break, and then show it to the people so they can see it? But no, see,
we'll do it during break.
Yeah, and then here the thing of it is, folks, if we don't do it during break, when Weston Linderman come here Thursday, and he's my guest for Thursday, that's when we'll have it then. But we're going to talk about it today, Lo.
Yes.
Lo, you sent that to me, and you know, I look at Messenger, let me just tell y'all right now, my birthday is Friday. Look, donate to my favorite charity. Give 1/3 to the needy. Let me see, my favorite charity, give 1/3 to the Lord. 1/3 to my favorite charity, and then I guess 1/3 at home. I don't know anybody need it more than me, so that come to me. That's that 1/3. Jesus, give to the church. Give that 1/3 to me, and I'll give it to him when I see him. Y'all got me on that. So give all that money to me. Now, I just thought I'd just throw that little joke out there. Lo, man, I tell you, it's so much been going on. Why don't you just tell us? I'm going to let you come in. I probably should have said over there, but anyway, Dice the engineer. But go ahead, Lo. Tell us what's going on in Meridian. Why won't they give Rita Jacks this job? And I heard Fannie Mae Johnson. Fannie Mae Johnson is a joke.
Oh, my gosh.
I heard Dwayne Davis talking. I don't know what the hell he was talking about, voting or something like that. George Thomas talking about school books. I guess he's senile or some shit. And I don't know what the hell Kim was saying. Was Kim talking about let's pray or something like that? But Weston Linderman gave a stellar presentation. So I'll let you tell the people about that.
I'll tell you what happened. You know, the city council, they actually received the city council agenda Thursday prior to the city council meeting. So I text someone to ask for the city council agenda. And he was like, I don't have it yet. It'll be about an hour. I said, okay. An hour later, I received the city council agenda. So I said, I need this guy resume. And so he sent me the resume. As soon as I received the resume, I knew right off who this guy was. So I Googled this guy and aired out his business on social media. Then I sent his business to WTOK. I sent his business to all 5 city council as well as the mayor, the CAO, and Attorney Joseph Denson, because Joseph Denson is still representing Lieutenant Rita Jack against this corrupted administration. So it went from there. And then on today, during the city council meeting, when I tell you that Councilman Winston Linderman torn Percy Bland another eye hole. He told him another eye hole. He told him about himself. He told Percy, due to the fact you being incompetent, allow the city council to choose the next police chief since you can't do the job. And at one point, Percy Bland looked at his phone, ignored Winston Linderman. So Winston was like, I see you're not paying attention, you looking at your phone. And Percy shouted out and said, you won't support any police chief I bring before you guys. So Winston Linderman responded by telling him, well, I was on the board to choose the next police chief. We chose Lieutenant Rita Jack, and you went outside the box and brought in George Coleman. So it went from there. I don't know what Fannie Mae Johnson was talking about Patrick Gale doing an outstanding job. Patrick Gale is not even an acting chief. She said, if I was the person that could choose the acting chief, it would be you. Well, that's the position that Percy Bland given Patrick Gale after Percy Bland fired George Coleman, Fannie Mae Johnson. He given, and let me tell you this, by state law, Patrick Gale is actually not the assistant chief. Acting chief, you have to vote him in that position.
That's
just
right.
can't give it to him.
That's
So
right.
he's not the acting chief, but we just gonna play that he's the acting chief.
That's
Fannie
right.
Mae Johnson, since you such a dummy, don't know no better.
And she is so ignorant. It shows how uninformed she is, that she don't know her job. She don't know what's going on in the city. We had 2 deaths just this weekend. It hadn't been on the news. One of the individuals, Willis, I think Bodis or something like that, in Tommy Parks. All of them killed right there on 31st Avenue around by that locksmith and 7th Street. And why haven't anyone reported that? But Patrick Gill is doing a stellar job, but he hadn't told anyone. It's Brunel that's actually running the department. And a sergeant that's been promoted illegally to acting captain, and Chris Reed, a sergeant that's been promoted to acting captain, which give them seniority over lieutenants, and that's sad, Lo. And I tell you, this is so bad. I just really thought, I don't know what Dwayne Davis is talking about. Do they really think that we hired you guys to not do your job? We hired you to clean graveyards off. We hired you to talk about teacher salary. George told me, let me tell you something. You're a teacher yourself, but you come across kind of ignorant today, and I'm gonna tell you why. The reason why I say that is because what you're talking about, teacher salary. Do you realize that we have a superintendent that's a failure? I sent her an email asking her to come on this show.
Annie
McCarter, yeah.
She's not gonna come.
You're right. You're right, but I tell you, some people that said they would come. Ron Turner said he would come.
I believe Ron Turner would come.
One of the principals at Parkview Elementary said she would come unless person tell them not to come. I talked to Eddie Kelly. Eddie Kelly just came out.
If you're talking about Miss Shannon from Shannon Thomas from Parkview,
yeah.
Oh baby, she gonna come. Percy don't run her. Well, I can tell you that.
Eddie Kelly said not at this time, but
he's scared. He do what Percy tell him to do. Just let's keep it real.
Yeah.
He do exactly what Percy tell him to do. He's a puppet, just like Percy.
So I think this concerned citizen want a lot of people to come, and we'd love to have them here, but they're just not coming.
Well, I knew Mr. Norwood would come. Yeah. Mr. Ron Turner would come. Even Mr. Hood would come. You invite him on the show.
You know we got to invite him.
The anonymous caller, writer didn't ask for Mr. Hood, but Mr. Hood would come.
Well, we gonna
Percy
ask
Bland
for him,
not gonna come. The puppet,
I
Peanut
think I
Man,
even reached
Eddie
out
Kelly not gonna
to
come.
What his name? Trent Posey.
He's not gonna come.
I already know he's not. And then I asked all 3 supervisors. I sent them an inbox, as you say, just get familiar with that. And they didn't respond either. But I know they get that. You know, we get those inboxes, and so they didn't respond. So it's a lot of people that the concerned citizens want to come. But let's just talk about something. Even though the title of this show is not the elephant in the room, you asked me a question today, and so I want let's go ahead on and clear. Let's just put a stop to what Brunel is trying to do. Let's go ahead on and see what we can do about getting someone that's in this city, in this police department, to be our next chief of police. So it was something that you talked to me about today. So let's talk about it. You asked me about, at one time, somebody put on YouTube what Lo said. I seen the video. I started laughing. Hey, we ain't fighting each other now. We on the same team. But you know what? I saw the video. I didn't look at it then, but I look at parts of it. I just saw that little thing, but I promise you it was so funny because she has a way with words. She has a way of taking your head off, and I'm glad she ain't taking mine off now.
Let me say this, Gray. For the viewer that listened in, his name Eddie, but he family to me, so I call him by his middle name. I call him Gray.
That's right.
I grew up with some of his family members, some of his younger siblings. We went from goddamn Witherspoon School to the high school together. Me, Rolando Ho, some of y'all might call her Michelle, Gabriel, and Gregory. We grew up together.
That's right.
I used to go down to Miss Minnie Hope's house every day, and I know she got sick and tired of seeing me there. But she didn't say it, though. She always had that smile whenever I came, and trust me, when I left full. Yeah. I went down there every day and got me a full meal, and she made sure Lola was at home before the street light came on. She would love on you, but she would send you home before the street light come on.
That's right.
And so what happened was, I think it was around about 2013 when I started listening to Eddie Hope's show. Now, he's one of the older siblings of the Hope. I knew of him, but my sister knew him better because he took my little sister when she was little and had her singing in this band called the East Side Rhythm and Blues Band. And I used to go and watch them perform. So when I heard Eddie Hope on this show, I think the name of the show was Reaching Out to Eddie Hope when you was on Jimmy Hobson radio station. Dice right here
I don't know what the name was. What's
the
that the name
engineer.
of?
I think it was Reaching Out to Eddie. I think it was Reaching Out to Eddie. And I would just listen to into the show, and I used to be like a little tad man devil. I used to call into his show and bum rush his show.
She did.
when he talked about Percy Bland, I didn't know Percy like this, so he was under the impression that I would team Percy. So one particular day, he was on the show saying that we as black people should have worked things out among ourselves instead of running to the police department because they don't have our best interest, which is true. And that show was on the Tuesday, so I had a little devilment in me that day. I said, I'm going to call into his show. And my brother Bird had been drinking up some Coke 45, Budweiser. Don't you call into that man's show? I said, well, he said we should work things out among ourselves, bro. I'm going to call. So my brother was wrestling with me and whatnot, trying to take the phone out my hand. I ended up getting away from him, called into the show anyway. I can't remember what I said. No, it had to be something foolish. And the following Saturday, I received a phone call from Lieutenant Rita Jack from the police department. Mind you, don't even know this lady. Never had an interaction with this lady. So when she called my phone, like, this strange. Never received a courtesy call. I had plenty of charge filed against me, but I never received a courtesy call. They always knocking at my door or knocking at my window. So I walked around the corner to my daughter's house and got her phone, called back the number. When I called back the number, it said Marina Police Department. I'm like, oh, I'm up shit creek now. So I'm like, this lady Rita Jack worked there? And they were like, yeah. I said, well, she just called my phone and said I had a warrant for my arrest. What have I done? So the man said, we got a warrant here for disturbing the place of business. And I'm like, who filed the charge? I haven't been in anybody's place of business. So I get down there to the police station. Sure enough, I get a citation, come to find out Mr. Hope that filed the charge.
Yes, I did it.
And I'm like, wait a minute, hell, we family. Why you file on your family? So he was going to drop the charge, but me being hard-headed, I go on to court just for shits and giggles. And when I get there, I could have sworn when Robert Jones asked him, how did he get my information? I could have sworn he said, Rita Jack. So I turned around and asked my moral support witness, did he say Rita? And one of them like nodded head for yeah. And I'm like, wow, I don't even know this lady. So we left about the courtroom. I go to the window talking to Mario Scott. I said, you know a Rita Jack that work here? Because I don't know her. And he was like, I don't think she at work, but go to the window right there and they'll let you know. So I got there to the window and waited and waited and waited. She never showed up. So I said, give me a complaint sheet. And so I waited for a few days after, try to give her benefit of doubt to reach out to me. Perhaps she called my phone, but if I don't got your phone saved, I ain't going to call your number. So I filed a complaint. And I put Robert Jones' name on the complaint because he was a judge that day. And I put Pam Bickett, think that's her name.
Bickett, yeah.
The prosecutor.
Prosecutor.
So I given the complaint, got it notarized, giving it back to MPD. Chief Dubois called me up and said, Robbie Jones and this Pam Bennett person, whoever it is, don't remember Eddie Hope calling out Rita Jack's name. And I said, okay. Excuse me. So I'm like, I don't know if it was a misspeak or if I heard wrong, but when I asked my moral support witness that was in the courtroom and that I said, he said Rita Jack, and she nodded her head. And I could have sworn he said her name, so I'm like, why would she give my information? And then after I got the chance to meet Rita, she said, I'd never given Eddie Hope your information. I said, I was wondering, how could you give him my information when I don't know him and I don't know you?
And I can tell you, and we figured it out today. Somebody used to stay with her that was in the military and was a best friend to my children's mother at that particular time. And of course, she lived on Davis Street, which is up the streets from me. So it was easy for me to get the address and her name. I knew the Allen, hell, because I knew she was Patricia's sister. Now, not only did I have Patricia, I met Patricia also. I was like a big brother, and I still am. I look at her as being a little sister, and she's right. We are family. And so it's a lot of things. But I didn't get it for Lieutenant Jackson. And the reason why we're clearing this up today, because Brunel trying to use this as a way of defaming her and bringing her down or trying to deny her that position. It's sad when Brunel, we can go and find so many things about you and we don't have to dig to try to find it. Now you got the two people right here. You got Lo here and you got me. I did not get it from Lieutenant Jax. I got it from I don't want to call her name. I shouldn't call her name.
Don't call her name.
Well, I'm not going to call her name, but Lo know who it is, and I know who it is. And so we're not going to call names, but it didn't get it further. The person didn't even work with the police department. But it was somebody that stayed with her at that particular time, and also the address is easy to get. Am I right or wrong? It's
Absolutely, because you have family down the street from the house I was living at the time. And I even told Rita, I even apologized to Rita.
Yeah.
I said, because I was giggling in the courtroom that day, and when I thought I heard your name, I reached back and asked one of my boy support witnesses that were there, you know who they were.
That's right.
And I said, he said, Rita? And she like shook her head for, yeah. So I talked to Rita about it, and she said, what happened was, Lo, you know how to stir the pot. She said, when that man filed the charge, he came back down, he didn't follow up, wanted to know why come you haven't been arrested. Yeah. So I went ahead on and give you the courtesy call. I said, well, I tell you, Rita, when I'm wrong, I'm going to tell you I'm wrong, but I could have sworn he said your name, but I apologize. And I said, I know how he got it now. Yeah. I said, even this female that used to live with me that was friend to my daughter, but and also friend with one of your
That's right. Very best friend, because they both went through the same thing.
I said, hell, he could have easily passed by my house and looked at my address over my door.
And that's exactly what I did.
The reason why I brought it to your attention today, because a police officer told me that Brunel dig back up this complaint that was filed in 2014. Right? You know, it's been a long time. I've been out there in Russell for 5 years.
So let's just stop right there.
And so I'm going to tell you what I believe Brunel doing. What I believe he is doing is that he's going to try to use that void complaint, because it ain't no earthly good, use it against me, try to make it seem like that I'm not trustworthy when Percy run for office next year. He going to use that complaint. It's going to resurface, hit the internet. It's going to try to paint this picture like I'm not trustworthy. This the person that filed the complaint on Rita Jack 6 years ago. Now look at her being Team Rita.
But one thing we do know is that you're trustworthy, because Lo does know just about everything that you've said and given us has been factual information. And it was you that spearheaded Ron Sampson, is that his name? Ronald Sampson. Ronald Sampson not being the things. We could go down and down the list, but let's just stop and pause for a minute. Let's assume if that was true, Brunel. What if it was true? Then we talking about a person giving somebody a last name that you can get off the internet or any place. Let's look at your record. Let's look at Percy's record. Look at Ronald Sampson. If Percy was willing to send this man up there, you know he know. There's nothing that he don't know. Man, wow, man. You know, we don't like the picture, do we, Lo? But we beyond that. We beyond the picture of Rita Jack's taking with you. I think she's doing what she need to do to show you that she's a bigger person than you, because you're a small man person. See, because you were vindictive and you're going to do everything you can. You was disrespectful with Western Linderman today. I seen it. What I did is I looked at it on my phone, and then I came here on my computer and blew it up, and I saw who it was. Fannie Johnson is a disgrace to this city.
Beyond a disgrace.
And it seems like everybody sitting on that board is not from here. But Western Linderman, you can see where his heart is too. That man is mere material. I don't care what anyone say. And some of you might be concerned that he's too young, that he's too white. Well, he ain't got nothing to do with who his parents are. He don't have anything to do with that. But one thing you gotta do is you gotta start looking at a person's track record. He has done a stellar job, and
he's the only city council that been consistent, holding Percy Blandfoot to the fire.
He does his research.
He's the only one. And I don't know how the other people used to be a council, a city council that plan on running for a mayor next year. I don't even know how they can run against Percy when they don't vote for everything this man asked for. The only one that held Percy Blandfoot to the fire, Western Linderman. And I'm going to tell you something. It's embarrassing when you have a Caucasian young white male fight for the black community, when you got the black city council that don't give a shit about the black community. That's right there. It's embarrassing.
And you know, Lo, somebody pointed out to me, they said that they watching. I'm going to tell you who this person is. This here is Greg Gillen, you know, one of the builders of J&J Tire.
Tire on 8th Street.
One of the things he pointed out to me, he said, I'm always talking about black and white. I am, because I'm a black man, and I'm going to talk about things that are dealing with black people, and we have a lot of problems in our community. But one thing he said, mostly what I say is probably true about white folk. But Lo, most of everything that happened to me been black folk. Most of everything that's going on in this city is black person, black male, black administration, you know, and then they hide behind white folks but corrupt white folk. So that person made a very good point. Look at Tarquez Hobson. Look at him. Where's Tarquez at now?
He worked for community development, That was the very first black officer that worked inside the city courtroom. And one day he reported to work, and Robert Jones said, "You're not wanted inside this courtroom," and sent him back out the door. So from what I've been told, that he constantly been harassed, so he asked for a transfer, and now he's working at the community development. He also have a cousin that was hired there up under Charles Coleman management, and I was told that cousin Al had been cut, a female, and possible no longer there.
Yeah. I think that Charles Coleman did us a disservice by coming here because he promoted people that didn't deserve to be promoted. I don't see, and then this man is a minister of a church, Lo, and that's really, really bad when you have black people that are empowering people. I'm not going to even say black and white. When you empower people that are not qualified, it's the people that you're putting over them. And I don't know whether he's college educated, but he's corrupt. It seems that Percy is looking for someone that's corrupt, someone that have baggage with them, and then good police officers can't even break a pencil. If they break a pencil, they're going to be suspended.
I was told that everything Charles Coleman done up under his leadership of management
was illegal.
He done it because Percy told him to.
Yeah.
And I believe that because, just take for instance, William Brunel was the officer that kicked the door in and pulled Terrell Thompson by the purse when Terrell was whooping his butt for dealing with his wife. It was Brunel that Terrell up off of Percy. So I believe Percy made him the acting captain, which he's not a captain material, not even a sergeant material. That was favoritism. Chris Reed, no telling how much dirt he have on Percy being a drug task force officer on the interstate. So, Dog was favor. Dog was a position that was promised to them, and Percy used a incompetent, inexperienced ticket writer to do his dirty work for him.
Well, Lo, you and I, we on the same team now. Folks, I did file a lawsuit against Lo. See, I did. I filed a lawsuit against her, and I removed Percy from it first. He was scared to hell, wasn't he?
Ooh, Lord, wasn't he?
and I never did. Lo's got no process. I did. And, she's a good fighter. Hell, I'm just telling you that. She take your head off. That's what I do. We take heads off. And so, we don't fight fair. Do you fight fair?
Absolutely not.
You play to win, right?
Absolutely.
Same way. We're on the same team now.
Absolutely.
And we
was on the same team then. He just didn't know.
I sure didn't. And you know what? She's the reason Percy Bland is mayor now. If it had not been for her and her efforts, he would not have been reelected. But guess what? I like to take that same credit along with some other folks. But I got to say that I think that I was primary in Percy being elected mayor. And I'm not trying to minimize what Marie Franklin and all the other people did. I know you did. But I did what you did. That radio, that voice, and things like this. And here's the thing, too, that I knew. And I've said this before. And I'll say it again. Now, me and Percy was going to Jackson, Mississippi. Lo, you got a good memory. You tell me if I'm saying the same thing or something different. And he said, we got to get some of that money. I said, what money are you talking about, Percy?
Drug money.
Drug money. Did I say this? How long I've been saying the exact same thing?
You've been saying it for at least 6-7
years. And the truth bear witness to itself. But so you can see it in place already. He got all them white boys on the interstate. I ain't never heard of any kind of drug buzz. I mean, if Sheriff Bear administration can, I think they had confiscated about $12 million.
So much.
$12 million. He done spent all of that. And I doubt if they have $1 million in the drug task force fund now. But Percy has a way of paying himself. This is my opinion. He has a way of paying himself. What is it Bob Luke doing? Is it that the money that Bob Luke getting, and I'm just speculating, is it the money that he's getting, that is he giving half of it to Percy because he ain't doing nothing to earn his money? And I'll say this thing, I ain't worried about you suing me. I ain't worried about you suing me. Sue me if you want to, I'm going to sue you back. That's what I do, Lo. I just threw the kitchen sink at Percy's ass. That's what I did. And so I put you in there, I put Percy in there. If I do it again, I'll sue his mama too.
John Nelson was the one that brought me the paper.
They so did. Oh, I miss John. Lord.
And then he came back and you had rescinded and you added Percy
so
to
did.
it.
So did.
And I'm like, oh, have mercy. I said, how many more you going to bring me, Mr. Nelson? However many he's seen.
He loved that because he got paid I know he got paid now. I miss John too. John, people don't even know it. Now, I've had people say things about him. But I never seen that. All I know is that he loved Meridian, and he always tried to do things that was right for Meridian and that little area by him. I think he should have been in public office. I think he'd have did a good job. Lord, I think he'll do a good job too.
Now, and when I knew John when I was younger,
yeah, he
was a different character. But
as he aged,
yeah.
He did, sure did.
He was a good dude.
And I tell you too, Berta Kelly too, I think that she wasn't treated fairly by the Meridian Police Department. I think when she wanted her job back, I think they should have found a way.
He wouldn't let her.
I think they should have found a way to place her there because, you know, that was her life. That was her heart. That's what she wanted.
As well as Rita.
Yeah, as well as Rita. And Rita could be elected mayor, I believe.
I think she could.
Yeah. But she needs to be our chief of police.
See, that's not her expertise.
That's not her passion. That's not what she did.
Law enforcement.
And she should be there. And I hope you're watching this podcast, Rita. And you know, and you can see now that, you know, we think you should be the chief of police. I think you deserve that chance, that opportunity. And personally, I think you should do that. I think Weston Lindemann came up with a great idea when he said, hey,
let the city council take
seize some of your power. I'll take it. That's what his ass been doing. I just did it. But you ain't gonna get nobody to go along with you, Weston. You can tell that by how all of them talking. What in the hell was Fannie Johnson saying?
I don't know. She don't even fucking know.
She talking about Patrick Gale doing a good job. Can you just tell me one thing that he has done for you to make that kind of statement and then sit your ass back like you done said something that was powerful and profound? And it's almost like Dwayne Davis is senile. I'm going to just tell you the truth. Because I didn't know what he was saying. It took me a minute to kind of understand what he was saying.
I cut it off at that point. Yeah. I didn't know whether or not he was defending Patrick Gale. Supporting Patrick Gale or against Patrick Gale. His comment was very confusing. And
then George Thomas started talking about the school and teachers.
He put you to sleep.
Yeah. And I don't know what Kim was talking about.
I cut it off at that point.
Yeah. The point of it is that each one of them should have piggybacked off what Weston said. They should have, because that concerns the city. Getting the vote out is not concerning us. We ain't got anything that's dealing with us other than, we got to talk about Initiative 65. You can vote yes or no, folk. Do not leave anything blank. Don't leave it blank for them to fill it in for you.
Yeah, it's 2 sections to 65.
Yeah. Yes for 65 and no for 65A. Remember that. They say you can vote no on both of them. So they got to have some kind of special writing up there.
They do.
Yeah, so make sure you no for 65A and yes for 65. And the reason why you want to say no for 65A, you don't want to leave that for chance by not voting, and they count that as a vote or something like that, or let somebody else fill it in for you. So make sure you fill in all the blanks. Make sure you do that. Don't leave anything for speculation. Lord, we're going to take us a break, and then we're going to come back here, and then we got some other things that we got to talk about. Dice Man, take us to break. And we got Johnny Sim out there. He came crashing up here. The Dice Man don't play that. But he going to be coming up here next.
You know what?
To reaching out with Ed, and what my guest is LoLo Knows. One of the, I think the people out there want to know what happened to Officer Derek Williams. And, you know, I talked about him at one time, was saying that I had, killed his twin brother. Of course, that wasn't true, No,
that's a different set. Oh, no, okay.
Yeah, Terry Onsen Harris' brother Rodney. Yeah, it was Terry that came and gave that information to me. But anyway, he came by here and said it wasn't true. When somebody come through here and speak, you have to accept it, what a person say, and then never heard it anymore since. So, Derek, what happened with Derek Williams?
I believe Derek Williams told you the truth, that it wasn't true. What happened to Derek Williams was he went to work one day, and Brunel approached him, brought him in the office with the acting chief, Patrick Gale, and told him that we have video footage of you riding around with a known drug dealer, a gangbanger in the patrolman car. We also have complaints written on you that you've been doing this. We have a video of you standing in a drug dealer yard. Derek Williams denied every bit of this, and they put him on suspension, not administration leave, but suspension for 14 days. I was told they called him back a few days later and tried to get him to come back to work, and he wasn't having it. Mighty strange, I received a phone call on this morning telling me something that's similar to Derek Williams' situation. Like, they out to get black officer there at that police department. Demetri Marshall, someone told Demetri Marshall, a former police officer, just recently left. He was given an ultimatum too for taking a patrolman car home by Lieutenant Costa. That's the name that Demetri Marshall given me. Said the guy called him up and said, "Where your car at?" And he said, "Home." "Well, get it back to the station ASAP." And told him, "You got options prior to resign because you're not supposed to take a patrolman car until you've been on the force for a year." When I myself know that's a lie. My son graduated out of the police academy taking the car home. Like 2 weeks later, him and the other officer that graduated at the same time. But Marcia told me on this morning that a female come to him, and I'm not going to call the female name, said a female come to him and said that Brandon Fireplace from Meridian Police Department, Officer Brandon Fireplace, pretty sure some of you all know who Brandon Fireplace is. He's this Hispanic-looking officer, came to her and told her, "I need you to help me get Demetri Marshall. I'm trying to stack a federal case on him." And she's like, "I don't know anything about Demetri Marshall other than he being my husband probation officer." Well, you don't have to know anything. You don't have to have any evidence. Just come down to the station and write a complaint. And she also told Demetri Marshall that Brandon Fireplace with a bald head officer with a bunch of tattoos, and that just so happened to be Howard Cole. I don't know, it's just like they just rushing all the black folks away, trying to plot these bogus complaint on them to get them out the door. Guess they want to turn MPD back into the 70s, but you have Fannie Mae Johnson City Council today saying that Patrick Gale doing an awesome job. Well, Patrick Gale was present when William Brunel sent Derrick Williams by his way, an officer that been with the police department I don't know how many years, and sent him out the door on a bogus complaint, then turn around a week later. Fannie Mae Johnson, you listen to this podcast. If Patrick Gale was doing such an outstanding job, why he constantly losing an officer? Just lost Marcus Overton. He one of the guys that filed for the chief of police job, even though Eddie Kelly, Percy Bland, CAO, gets on the news and lie and say he only had one candidate inside the police department. It was Rita Jack, Marcus Overton, and Demetri Marshall. Demetri Marshall was the only one that got in the interview.
And Fannie Johnson only gave him lip service. You got to give us more than that. It's not why we hire you. We hire you. Democracy means temporary job. And not only that, Howard Cole was the informant that let Bill Gordon know who the people were that were going to testify against him. So he go way back at being a snitch and an informer for the federal government. So he's not as stellar as he's coming out to be. So you got what you call people that have baggage. Because didn't Brunel get drunk?
He got caught with beer in the
right
city
there on by Rush Hospital.
Yeah.
Got caught with beer. So you got an alcohol,
domestic violence charge.
Domestic violence charge that Robert Jones illegal. We got to talk about Robert Jones. Now you know I went in Robert Jones' courtroom. He did not speak to me. I don't care about that. No,
wow.
He did not speak to me. He didn't even acknowledge me anything. But I know why.
I can believe
it's
that.
Because of those judiciary performance complaints. But how about if you ain't doing anything wrong? But here we got people. That's what pissed me the hell off. Is because we have people that are doing illegal shit. Once we tried to find out, once Joseph Denson tried to get a copy of Brunel's arrest, Robert Jones expunged it. Now that's illegal. How is that you going to expunge something without a petition? And then he expunged all of it. Another thing, in my opinion, is illegal under state law. But Joseph Denson didn't file a complaint against Robert Jones. Had I been an attorney, I would have. It doesn't matter. And I got to say this to Joseph Denson. It does not matter whether or not a person is able to dodge when you punch. Just long as you punch. If you get in the ring and you don't swing blows, if you don't fight back, if you don't have an attack, then eventually you're going to get knocked out. So, hell, I'd have filed a judicial performance complaint against him, said it illegal, and if Pam Bitter would have came along and said that she asked for it, I would have filed one against her. I would have filed a bar complaint against her. I'd have had bar complaints against everybody. That's how I fight. See, you know, me and Lo fight the same way. I think I use a shotgun, she used a damn elephant gun to kill a squirrel, you know. But that's how, you know, that you gotta throw everything at people that are doing illegal stuff. If we don't file a complaint when they do something wrong, then they get to operate with impunity, and we don't want that. We want to hold them accountable. I think, Robbie, I'm gonna just give you some very good advice, Robbie Jones, and I'm talking to you. I think you should resign as city court judge and go home. And then, man, you have a beautiful wife, and she has a wonderful spirit. Man, get your wife and go ahead on and live out y'all laugh years, going places you hadn't been, doing things you hadn't done, and enjoy life, and leave Percy for the FBI to handcuff his ass and take him on away from here. A lot of you need to do that. And I'm going to tell you, Darrell, you bribe Percy. You did too, Terrell. You did too, Stacy. Y'all bribe Percy in order to keep y'all jobs and salary. Man, it ain't, man, what, Terrell, I got to ask you this. You know you're not a damn pimp, but if you know if somebody mess with your wife and you don't do shit about it and you stay, how the hell can you smile in that nigga face? I don't understand that, Lo.
Pimp. Got that extra money. That's the only thing I can think of. Got that extra money, like he pimping his wife. Got that extra money, a little raise.
I mean that's pitiful, man. We just cannot. I mean, wow, man, it ain't nowhere in here, man. I don't even want you, man. Ain't nothing so good that I have to accept that. I'm not gonna accept a no good woman, two-faced man. What James Brown said. A two-faced woman and a dirty man been cause her the trouble since the world began. James Brown, am I right, Dice? Dice, we got in the comments over there. And just to talk about Robbie has a lawsuit too filed against him. Did you know that?
But let me say this: in Joseph Denson, somewhat in his support, this how they knew about the charge was still pending on William Brunel. I'm the one that reached out to Attorney Denson and Rita Jack and told them, because I have inside information inside the department. I asked someone to look it up, and they said it's the abstract. So I called Rita and told Rita about it, and she got her attorney to go down to the police station. But I direct her to get them to go to the city hall, the water bill company, and request the information. And Joseph went to the police station. I guess they were good about just giving him printout without him going through the proper channel. And the lady had the paper in her hand. And I was told that another clerk said, I'm sorry, I'm Team Rita, but can't give it to you. You got to follow the proper protocol.
I think that's a deflection. I think when you ask for it, they should give it to you. I don't think you didn't ask for it, give it to you.
And so when Rita called Attorney Denson, Robbie Jones, there was someone else in the room when Rita Jack made that phone call, and it was recorded. And he owned up to expunging William Brunel record. That was a record that Joseph Denson went and requested. Not only him, but Edward Law. And
we finna play that video right now.
He admitted Rita wasn't the one that recorded it, okay?
Yeah. Jesus did it. Jesus did it. Go ahead, Dice. Play that recording for us. Will we be able to hear it too, Dice, or just you? We're going to play this recording for you. And Greg Gillen also has a lawsuit against Robbie Jones, the city of Meridian, and all that illegal, warrant and stuff. Go ahead, Dice, man, play it.
That's one of the things, when I was talking to you about that, and it was kind of heartfelt, I just know that everybody that try to come on with Percy, if they don't listen, they kind of listen to him and try to be a good employee, but all he does is uses people, and then he's still there, and the person end up looking bad because of all the things that, Percy did. He's making you look bad.
Send it to you. That's good. Hey, talk to the people a minute. I'm finna send it to Dice.
Okay, people, that's a different video that he have download. That was a video between him and Charles Coleman. It was the Wednesday after the last city council meeting in July. Percy Bland done his press conference and self-proclaimed that Charles Coleman turned in his resignation. And he said that he didn't ask Charles Coleman for his resignation, which I knew then that was a lie. Well, I conversated with Eddie Hope right after I heard his press conference of Percy doing. I said, well, how about you saying this man turned in his resignation? He didn't ask for it. So when I'm talking to Eddie Hope, Charles Coleman just so happened to call Eddie Hope's phone. So I'm like, Eddie Hope, merge me into the phone conversation so I can ask him, why did he fuck with my son, fired my son? And so when Eddie merged me in the phone conversation, I didn't know Charles Coleman was going to come off, violin music, sad music, and say he didn't resign, saying that he didn't resign. Percy basically forced him out the seat. So that's another lie that Percy told. As usual, it's nothing new person tell her, I mean, this is just a common thing to him. Just a habitual ass liar, all around American lie. That's all Percy do is fucking lie. It's just ridiculous the way that man just sit up and tell lies. Like the day he done a live video bragging about the streets he about to pave. Do y'all remember me telling y'all that Percy gonna start paving streets? Because this next year election, he trying to get votes. He ain't done it in over 3 years. So why all of a sudden now he want to pave streets, talking about tearing down houses? Dude, please. We giving you 7 years to get this city straight, and you ain't done shit other than lie to the citizens. We voting your knowing boot hoe ass about that seat next year, just so you know. We coming for you, Percy. You got to go. Go back to Madison County with your mom, okay? We getting your ass about them reading. Anyway, like I said, next year's election, so this dude is going to constantly be trying to do this and do that in order to get your vote next year. Percy don't give a damn about you, especially if you're black.
And not only that, Lo, we got to show that we're not that shallow. We touted them cleaning graveyards and paving streets while houses are being torn down, our children are being killed, not being educated, no jobs in Meridian or anything like that, not a quality life for black folks here at all. But let's talk about Scotty Cole. Scotty Cole got a hellified con going on around here.
Ooh, I had so many people inbox me about you, Scotty Cole.
Not just Scotty Cole, who else is involved
there?
They
said some dean got to go to the another Freedom Rock Church. It don't have anything to do with you, LeBaron. But this dean guy, he said dean. And they said it's Scotty Cole. That somebody even chunked in another pastor name.
Claude Evans.
Claude chunked in his name too.
Yeah, so like, Claude Evans said, man, they ripping people off. What did they explain the con game that they got going around here?
It's similar to a pyramid scheme.
Well, I know one thing where they're borrowing money, whether you put in $500
and to get $4,000
back and that kind of thing, and they're doing that to people, and of course instead of Scotty's keeping the first $500 out of the $3,000, but you got to go out and get. Now Scotty don't even care that the FBI is. That's a federal offense. They will put you in jail, and the feds know about this.
From what I saw on Facebook, people saying they putting money in, but Scotty Cole not
giving no money out. And guess what? Building a house, and see, that's what we get with ministers around here. It's all about money and greed and that kind of thing. We really got Dice. Are you ready yet for us? Well, we're going to keep on talking, but that's really bad that so many people are losing their money dealing with Scotty Cole. So people, y'all tell somebody. Tithe is only 10%. But if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. But just because they're a minister don't mean you should be giving them your money.
And then you got these people that saying that they pay a fee to enter plus the money that you have to put in the pool or the flower, whatever they call it. And you know, he had this conference call thing, and one night someone three-wayed me in, and I was looking to listen to it. And he was telling these people, I'm sorry if you don't know how to operate a computer, we just gonna move on. Well, you got these folks money, and these are senior citizens. I heard one of the people that was in the group is no longer in the group. This guy called someone. I was on three-way. This lady said that she feels so bad for her elderly auntie, she want to reimburse her auntie her money.
Yeah, and he's not giving you your money back. So what you people need to do, what I want you to do is, you don't know how to email. My address is 3813 8th Street. Come here. If you lost money dealing with Scotty Cole, come here and I'm going to help you at no charge get your money back. I will help you get your money back. So tell people that too when you go LoLo Live. Let them know that if they come to me or contact you, we're going to help them get their money back.
Ooh, I had so many people to contact me. I even inboxed Scotty Cole. I inboxed him. Try to afford him the opportunity to explain this right here. Because I feel like when people reach out to me about a situation, due to the fact that I always been this way. I'm a helpful person. I help people out. So I inboxed. I extended the olive branch to him. Instead of him calling me, he put somebody else up to call me. And I want to try to get down to the bottom of this because my inbox is blowing up about this Scotty Cole and this Dean person taking folks' money, ripping them off. And then this other guy name came up just this Sunday.
Claude Evans.
And I'm like, wait a minute. I said, what? And I'm like, this is my first time hearing of him. I always heard this Dean guy in Scotty Cole.
Well, I tell you, I help you get your money back, and if any laws being broken, I will help you put them in jail. I'm just gonna tell you that because here I'm on the side of the people. I don't think that they should be doing that to anyone. And folks, I hate when people abuse power, and that's what's going on here. A lot of the ministers around here, have you noticed how some of them die? They die such a horrible death. I'm just telling you the truth. Now, I live for, I got to tell y'all this. Now, Joe Moore, Reverend Moore, was my brother. But I watched him die a horrible death. I mean, he taught me a lot. He taught me how blessed my mama was. Because my mama coached to a stop. No pain or nothing. And she had the surgery. She had more surgery than he did. But she never suffered not one day. My mother was a good person. Lived 87 years old. That man was 43 years old and he died. And lo, I watched him blowed up, and I felt so bad for him. He was in so much pain. Jackson sent him home to die. But UAB was able to give him a boost up, but they said they done tweaked him as well as they can't do anything else. They gave him less than 6 months. They gave him less than 3 months. After he left UAB, he left probably about another month, and he died. Wow. But it was a painful death. He cried, and I've seen ministers have strokes. I've seen them hurt and painful. God trying to tell them something, Lord, they ain't doing right. You got to do right. Scotty, there's no way. You can't believe in the God that you talking about, and you doing people like that. Now, I'm going to tell you, Scotty, I know you're going to be probably calling me again. They said call you, but I'm going to help put your ass in jail if you're doing a lot of people like that. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm going to help folks get their money. That new house you building out there, we're going to put a lien on that bad boy. You and your wife ain't going to be able to move in there because the Fed's going to put that up for auction and sell it. And we're going to do a replenishment on your bank account, your church bank account, and everything that you touching and got a hold of. Y'all folks, y'all hear me talking? If you lost money, we'll put a class action lawsuit against his ass, and we'll put a lien on every damn thing he owned, his mama owned, his dad owned, and his sister, and all his damn family. I'm just telling you the truth. Anything he touch, we'll lock it down so they can't do nothing with it, because it ain't right. Damn it, this is what pissed me off, Lo, because we got so many problems in this community. Not only we got to deal with law enforcement, we got to deal with vultures and wolves in the guise of being a preacher.
And the thing about it is, when I first heard that he was participating in this, I'm like, hey, pastor?
Man, at one time I
that's
thought,
a red flag there right there. I said, a pastor?
Yeah. Man, it's sad that...
And these folks blowing my inbox up, wanting me to say something about it. I'm like, hell, it's y'all money he taking. He ain't taking mine.
Well, I'm going to say something about it, and we're going to do something about it. Anybody worry about it. We'll put Scotty Cole ass in jail and everybody else. Because I've been to jail before, Lo. You know, I don't mind telling y'all, I've been before. I did something wrong, too. So, shoot, I paid. I'm back right with the house. So Scotty got to get right with the house, because right now he ain't right with the house or the community. You ain't either person. Now, Eddie Kelly's supposed to be calling me this week, and I'm supposed to be meeting with Eddie Kelly.
Don't hold your breath.
I believe that. I'm just telling you, but that's okay. My next step, I'll take the ass to county court. And I'm going before I'm getting on the work. What they call it?
Work section.
Get on the work session so that y'all hear me. You're going to have to act. And then I'm going to court. Man, how many lawsuits do y'all want? You got Greg Gillian. You got, Magruder. You got Aunt Ball. You got Rita Jackson. You got Bunky Partridge. You got so many people, white and black, that's been wrong in this city. And all person had to do when he got caught with his pants down, your ass should have resigned.
That's it.
Should have resigned.
Let me tell you this, during the first deposition regarding Bunky Parker's suit, Percy denied the sexual thing. Okay, Percy, I'm on a deposition on the 15th of the month.
Yeah.
Lie in my face.
Yeah. And here the thing of it is, Percy, it is so bad that you would do something like that, and you would do it with an employee's wife, with an employee. And that's really, really sad. And it's sad. And Terrell, man, damn, you should have sent that nigga ass back to damn Jackson or wherever the hell he's from, Crystal Spring. Should have sent him back.
Well, let me tell you how I found out about it. The day it happened, I was nearby the location, and the next day I received a phone call saying, Lo, you know what happened? Someone said you were there. No, I wasn't in the room. I wasn't in the room. And they were like, Percy and Stacy got caught having sex. And I'm like, that's why Percy was running to his vehicle? You know Dukes of House and Bo and Luke out the Dukes of House, the way he jumped in the General Lee. That son gun didn't use a door handle. He jumped in that damn car window.
Flew through the window.
I mean, it's like he created a damn window. And he took off, and he went and got his wife. And his wife came back to the scene.
I got to ask you this. Now, what kind of wife is this? Now, I got to ask, what kind of relationship is this? If the wife going to come back and protect him, she should have been whipping his ass. She should have been doing something to him.
Well, she did leave her handprint in his face that day. She did slap the hell out of him when she asked Stacy why was she still there. Stacy responded, ask your husband.
Wow.
And so he turned around and slid in them arrays, Stacy and Terrell Thompson arrays. And so...
And this is illegal, folks.
He giving them a raise. So a city employee come to me and told me to get in his car. I ain't gonna say his name on air. And he said, "I'm pretty sure you know what happened between Stacy and Percy and Terrell catching them. Yeah, I heard about it. Well, did you hear about the raise?" And I'm like, "What?" And so he showed me in black and white that someone at the city hall giving him. And he said this one in particular person was real upset because she didn't get a raise, but Stacy got in a raise. And so I'm like, wow. So the guy was like, "If you ever mention this, I'm going to deny it." Well, I will leave your name out of it, but I'm going to talk to Terrell. Sure enough, the next day I called up Terrell. "Terrell, what's your location?" He said, "I'm at Frank Conkinson's, the party going on here." I said, "Okay, call me when you leave there." So about an hour later, I called them back. "You still at the Frank?" "No, I'm at the Union Station." "Well, come and see me. I need to talk to you about something seriously severe." He said, "Can't wait." "No, I need to talk to you." He said, "Okay, go ahead. I'm free. Ain't nobody around." I said, No, I need you to come see me. So I give him my address. He came to my house in the Expedition. He wasn't in the vehicle that he drives now. He was in a black SUV. When he pulled up, I heard the radio. I thought I heard a voice, but it was a scanner that he had inside this vehicle. A convicted felony with a scanner inside the vehicle. I said, "I need you to step out because you know I stay dark on that road." So I said, "Step out," because I didn't know whether or not somebody was inside the vehicle with him or either that was the radio. So it was just the radio. He stepped out and I brought up to him what I was told. And he dropped his head and he said, "How you find out about it?" Never denied it now. And I'm like, "Dude, how in the hell can you be in Percy's face? This guy, you caught this guy with your wife." "Lo, I'm trying to work on my marriage." "Well, Terrell, this ain't the first rodeo. Back in 2006, that's a video floating around her sucking on somebody's cock. Now, here it is. She in the praying position again. Really, dude? Wow." And so, that was on a Saturday. And so, a few days later, him and his brother both called me up. Wanted me to assist them in blackmailing Percy. They wanted more money.
Yeah, and they got it.
Terrell said, "Tell me I want to raise," and Terrell was like, "Tell him I want Richard McAllister old job." And I said, "What is that?" He's like the assistant, being the mayor assistant. And I'm like, "Man, I don't want to be a part of this blackmailing scheme." I said, "Because it's wrong for him to give you a raise to begin with, as in hush-hush money, not to tell anybody. You know, the citizens should have to pay for your shortcoming, Percy Bland." So I told these two guys, Darrell and his brother Terrell Thompson, I said, "I'll call Percy and I'll call his mama just for shits and giggles." So I called Percy's number and Percy didn't answer. So I called his mama. So we have a situation here, and I told her about this ordeal, which in fact she already knew about it, because the person that actually brought the situation to me concerning the raise that Terrell and Stacy gotten also told me that Percy Bland mama driven from Madison County to Terrell and Stacy house and told Terrell, "If my son had to step down from being the mayor, your ass ain't gonna be able to live here neither." Well, anyway, so she already knew about it. So I told her, I said, "Terrell is seeking Richard McAllister old job, and Darrell is seeking a raise." And she was like, "If I'm not mistaken, Darrell just received a raise, Lola." She didn't call me Lolo. She called me Lola. And she said, "Have you ever seen Terrell Thompson writing?" And I'm like, "No." She said, "Well, in order to have Richard McAllister hold job, you will have to write a complete sentence. Your English skill, your grammar skill had to be up to par." And she basically said that Terrell Thompson was smarter than a third grader. So, when I get off the phone with her, those two clowns just so happened to call me back. "Did you talk to Percy? Did you get in touch with P?" I said, "No, I haven't gotten in touch with Percy, but I gotten in touch with his mom." And they're like, "What did she say?" I said, "Well, Darrell, she said she's not mistaken. You just recently gotten a raise. And Terrell, you're going to have to call her and talk to her to see what she told me." Because I didn't want to tell them that the lady said you ain't smarter than a third grader. So while I'm talking to them, Percy Bland buzzed in. And so I told Percy Bland about the situation. He was like, "Lo, I just promoted Darrell to sergeant when he wasn't supposed to have been demoted. When he's supposed to be promoted because he had a letter in his file saying that he wasn't eligible for promotion for 2 years because something about he's supposed to have forged the judge or somebody's signature on some stuff. It was, I think it had to deal with him and DeMarcus Wilborn and the Nash lady that used to be a detective.
That's right.
Nash was fired and William, what's his name? DeMarcus Wilborn was suspended for 30 days, but the only thing Darrell Thompson received was a write-up in his file. And according to Percy Bland, the write-up was saying that you're not eligible for promotion within 2 years. So when he got in the sergeant position, evidently the Civil Service Commission did not check his file because it wasn't 2 year was up. So anyway, so person was like, please, Lord, keep them calm, keep them off of me. Please help me out. Please just keep them busy. I'm gonna see what I can do. It might be next term. If I win next term, maybe next term I'm able to do something for Terrell, but not right now. So once he got reelected, he did try to create this position for Terrell. Community liaison, the position that you created.
I've talked about it here. I drew up that program. I drew it up, the salary and everything, and person would have gave. If he'd have gave him that job, man, I probably would have shot Terrell. I'm just telling y'all the truth. You can't take my shit from me. I would have shot person too. No, I wouldn't. I'm just making a joke. But I would not have liked that. But I'm finna shoot him now. I'm finna shoot him from the saddle. I'm finna get his ass out of that job. And you know what, person, I'm gonna tell you this. Eddie Kelly is smarter than you. He's a lot smarter than you. He looks like a mayor. But you know what? By him taking a job under you and doing what you telling him to do, he's showing himself not to be so smart after all. I mean, folks, we got to put a stop to this. We got to reel Percy Bland in. And when we reel him in, we reel Brunel in. When we reel Percy in, we reel in Robbie Jones. And everybody else is doing a poor job in this city.
Now, let me ask you this, okay? When Brunel was found guilty, he had to be found guilty in order for his record had to be expunged, so evidently he was found guilty. He was made, according to that recording, he was made to go into anger management and pay a fine. And then once Joseph Dixon go and ask for the information, Robert Jones turned around and expunged it. So all this time, this dude been carrying a firearm illegal around the police department wearing the badge illegal. Percy Bland
not only him, Laws too.
Law too, but you know, Law had left there, went elsewhere, but still he expunged Law. According to the audio, he expunged Law too. But the thing gonna get in that, Mr. Hope, this guy was walking around the police department with a badge and a gun, and this stuff was still on his record.
And you know what, Lo? I don't think the judge can circumvent. I don't think you can expunge domestic violence. I don't think you can. Because the purpose of domestic violence is to protect potential victims in the future. Mm-hmm. What Robert Jones, in my opinion, is illegal. I don't think the law is set up to expunge every crime, because like on the felony side, you can't expunge robbery, rape, or murder, aggravated assault, or trafficking in drugs. So I don't think that Robert Jones can expunge, and I think J. Denson Law will look into this. I don't think that they can expunge domestic violence, because the third one is a felony, so it's something that can't be removed. Mm-hmm. And so I just don't think it's done. And so I understand that attorneys work very hard and work long hours, but this paralegal right here, I'm a paralegal. Mm-hmm. Boy, I work long hours too, just on one case. I search that law. I'm gonna find something somewhere. I'm gonna do the research on this too.
But even if it wasn't a felony, according to that audio, Robert Jones said it was more than one. I only thought you could expunge one if it wasn't a felony, but according to his own voice, he had more than one domestic violence charge.
Misdemeanors, if you're under the age of 22 in the state of Mississippi, misdemeanors can be expunged. But it's an exception for DUI, and it's an exception for domestic violence. Those lead to felony. Robert Jones, what you did was an illegal expungement. I think you can expunge one, you cannot expunge two. Mm-hmm. Just cannot. There's no way you can do that. What you're doing is you're putting a killer back on the street. You're putting a murderer back on the street. Because when a person gets so enraged that they'll choke and they'll beat and pummel a female, now you got somebody that needs to be really off the streets, and the law is set up so that they don't carry a gun. Mm-hmm. And Robert Jones callously did not care about the victim and did not care about any potential victims, and he expunged that person's record.
Mm-hmm. He did.
That's not judge material.
He admitted to it.
Dice Man, how about comments? Yeah, it's comment time, folks, and then we're going to close out. Lo, you got to come back.
I'm coming back.
All right, let's see what we got here. All gas, no brakes. 81 says this is gonna be good.
That's Carvan. Her name Carvan Brazil. That's Albert Brazil wife.
Hey, Carvan.
What up, Carvan?
Told you, LoLo Knows.
Tristan B. Hampton says good evening, Dice, Mr. Eddie, and Lolo.
What up, Tristan?
What's up, Tristan?
Tony Owen says hello, everyone.
Hey, baby.
What up, Tony?
My girl, Lolo.
What up?
Smash shout out. Hey, baby.
Kendall Holt says, to cover up a white corrupt system, all you have to do is cover it with black faces.
You got the wrong face though, Percy.
Yeah, that's right. But I gotta say this to you, cuz, and is that in this situation, it's a corrupt black system, and it's covered up with white faces.
Mm-hmm.
The exact opposite.
Michael Moore says, hello, Miss Allen, Dice, and Eddie. Thanks so much from me and my family for all you do.
What up, Mr. Moore?
Hey, Mike, you know, man, you need to say thanks. No thanks necessary, man.
Okay, we got Sweet Key McNeil says, preach, my girl.
What up?
I don't know you, hey, but welcome to reaching out.
Ellen Allen says, good evening, Eddie, Lowe, and Dice.
What
Late,
up?
but I'm here.
Hey, Marie.
And Miss Franklin. Okay, let me go down a little bit here. You got quite a few in here.
Even if somebody says something smart, you can read that too.
Come on,
I'll read them.
it all.
Oh, yeah,
I'll read you.
yeah.
Okay. All right, let me see. Ellen Franklin says, corrupt, corrupt, corrupt. That is Robbie Jones' first, middle, and last name. She also says, if he doesn't resign, let's do what we got to do to get him gone.
Well, what we do is you kill a snake, we cut the head off. Percy's the head.
And just know Percy was the one that appointed him.
That's right. Percy appointed him. That's an appointed position. But Robbie, I think you should resign and say what used to be a stellar career.
And take William Brunel with you.
And Pam Biddick and her husband.
And Howard Cole. And,
Pat Jordan,
and Brandon Fireplace.
Yeah.
Okay. Brenda Gordon says, amen.
Hey, Brenda.
What up, brother?
Brenda Gordon also says, it is truly embarrassing that we have an African-American mayor and it is the Caucasian city councilman that is having to fight for the African-Americans in Meridian.
And it is.
I always tell you that.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing too, brother. That's embarrassing.
Okay, we'll go down a little bit more here. Sorry about that, folks. Small Town Mississippi says those city council members who don't back Western should be ashamed.
We're gonna send them. We're gonna send them out the door too, with Percy Bland. You know what I think? I think that if we elect people like you and I, and we go there, George Thomas will have a heart attack.
Ooh, he'll resign. He'll resign.
Okay. Tristan B. Hampton says legally they can't get it back. I'm not sure what that's referring to. Okay. Ellen Franklin says, calm down, Hope. Being mad at Cole is not enough for you to raise your blood pressure.
You're right.
Okay. Katara Hope says, very good show. Question. Is COVID over? Where is y'all mask?
Ooh.
Hey, look at I'm what you call asymptomatic.
And I got my Clorox wipe. I've been wiping down over here now.
I have my mask. The Dice Man and low side of this, but I promise you, family, I got to tell y'all this. I have really been having a cold. You know, I didn't take my flu shot this year, so it's one of the years. I used to get sick every year until I started taking the flu shot. So I'm one of the person that promotes taking the flu shot because it really works for me. So, daughter, I'm going to go and take my flu shot. But I took the COVID test and it came back negative.
And I got my shirt. Leaving that alone. Okay, Small Town Mississippi says you should have LoLo on more.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm
Great
gonna
show.
Hey, we've been trying to get her since we started having Dice.
Yeah.
Hell, he scared me with that ghost. When I leave
Oh,
and go home,
hold
that
up.
ghost but not follow
I'm
me
gonna have
home.
my son come in here, and my son just seen the man not too long ago. I said, boy, be quiet, because I'll get ready. You know, in Mississippi, you can leave your children here for a few minutes. I can't leave him. He going to be talking about Mr. Lockhart up in here. Hey, this is going to be a haunted house here. I'm charging adults $10, and I'm going to give you your money back if you don't be afraid when you come up in here Halloween.
Okay. Dennis Allen says she didn't lie. He is on a 3rd grade level. Both twins is snails.
Slow. They're
Yeah,
slow, bro.
yeah.
Okay, my bad for not knowing.
But they ain't so slow with that. They faster than Percy because they're getting things out of him, and that's blackmail. They call that strong arming. Shakedown.
Okay, Dennis Allen also says, and his wife is a freak that won't respect him. That's why she's still giving head around town like crazy.
I don't know about that, Dennis, but that's your opinion. I don't know about that. Oh, it don't scare me, you know.
Okay, let's see here. Do it for Wody says, tell it, Unc.
What's up, nephew? You know who that is? That's your nephew. That's Trish's son.
Quote it. I call him Laffy.
Yeah, that's his name, Lafayette.
Okay. Arika Rue says, some good stuff.
What up, Rika?
What up, Miss Rue?
Dallas Cowboy fan.
Ellen Franklin says, oh my God, what are we waiting on to address all these crooks and pure corrupt people we are paying?
Got people scared to talk up. Eddie Hoping I ain't afraid. Got people scared to talk up.
Yeah.
Mary Etheridge says, evening guys and Miss Lolo,
What up,
great
Miss
show.
Hello?
And last but not least, Small Town Mississippi says, I never fail to laugh about the tool belt conversations and how Tony is going to cut you.
Hey, I didn't say anything about Trish now because she told me I had one more time to do that. So I'm not gonna say how pretty those eyes is. I'm not gonna say how when you look at them they just like put you to sleep, just throw you into another world. But Tony, I like your eyes more than I like hers. You're my shouter.
There you go, and we just got 2 more comments came in. Small Town Mississippi says, LoLo knows everybody.
Yeah, LoLo knows. She really does.
And Tristan B. Hampton said, Dice, you skipped my other comment.
Uh-oh, Dice, go find it now.
Okay, let me go back up here. Let's see what that happened. I read the 2 that you got back. Put it back in again.
And I want to talk about the Black Panther movie. Now, it's unfortunate what happened to that man. It's unfortunate anyone died. But showing children in the community a Black Panther movie, we didn't hire you for that, Dwayne Davis. We hired you to represent us and create a better quality of life for our children. I don't give a damn if I don't see not one headstone in that graveyard that will no longer bury people. Yeah, it look nice, but that's not enough for us to vote for you. And I'm so tired of that load that everybody seem to do what Wayman Newell does. Let's get these niggas some new rolls and watermelons and clean the graveyard off, and they'll keep voting for us while we destroy their community and their children's lives.
You know what? Dead people don't even vote.
They sure don't. They don't at all. But you got people that'll ride and die with Wayman Newell. One thing I can say, he courageous enough to come here. Lord, you gonna run for public office again?
And then he had the numbers wrong too. He said 80,000 people live in Lauderdale County.
It's not 80,000.
He said 80,000. He repeated it on your show.
Yeah,
oh
it's
my
not 80,000.
God.
He had to round up. But, somebody sent something. Oh, that's for you, Lo. Lo, I asked you a question. Are you gonna run for office?
I don't know because these Negroes ain't ready. You know, they would tell you they gonna vote for you, and then they just knew that I had it. They just knew I had it in the bank. But what happened was the Republican came out and crossed over and supported my opponent, and so we end up in a runoff election. And then that many Democrats come out then, so the Republican had the opportunity to do the same thing on August the 26th or 27th. They done on August the 6th.
You know, we have an opportunity in this city, every election, and in this county, in this community, we have an opportunity to create difference and make a change by supporting people such as yourself and even myself. But black peoples will not vote. We gotta, I gotta talk about. I think her name is Felicia Westbrook. You know this.
Alicia Westbrook.
No, Felicia.
Her name Felicia. I thought it was Alicia.
It's
Westbrook.
Felicia. Westbrook. She's going to be here Saturday, so at 1 o'clock. So promote that. Let's help promote it. She's going to have a caravan and going to go through the hood and things like that. Person, keep your ass at home. you going to make that lady lose
We don't
votes.
need
Yeah,
you.
we don't need you standing up beside her for opportunity to make it seem like that we supporting you, because we're not. And I made sure that the Westbrook campaign know that we're dissatisfied with your ass, and we going to get you out of office if we have to drag you up out of there.
Make sure you let them know what position she running for. She running against Kenny Griffin.
For Supreme Court judge.
You know, he ran for appeal court judge against Jim Kitchen. I think that was last term.
And lost.
Jim Kitchen blew him out.
Yeah. So we need to blow him out for her, you know. We need to really turn out to vote. People start looking at report cards. What is this person doing and what they're going to do? People like Dwayne Davis is political correct. He's getting in there and doing what they've been doing all the time. And what they've been doing all the time has not worked for us. You see where we are. You see we're in dire straits. This community is not doing good. George Thomas talking about teachers. And, man, we gotta bring it up for, it's an F. Address that. Why is it an F? Well, it's the school board. You got 4 whites and 2 blacks. So how about putting qualified people on that school board, and how about getting rid of that superintendent, and then we can start seeing a change in the school system. And then how about you rednecks stop voting for a white person just because they're a Republican and you know they have a... You know what? Donald Trump brought out all that racism, all that discrimination from people, and they stand up for him like it's a truth. But the original people here, the people that are indigenous to this country, are Native Americans. They were here first, so Columbus ain't discovered anything. But anyway, people, Lo, say something to the people before we go. Did Tristan put a comment back up?
Let's see. Yeah, she did. All right. Here goes Tristan. All right, Tristan B. Hampton said, is Percy sleeping with his mama?
Is who?
Percy sleeping with his mama.
Is he sleeping with his mama? He's a titty baby, I can tell you that much. You know, he go back and tell his mama everything. You know what, though? I give his pop kudos because his pop nothing like him. So I believe Percy get his ways from his mama. And his brother Michael nothing like Percy neither. Yeah. So I'm just assuming Percy gets his ways from his mama. His mama is his enabler. She don't see anything Percy do wrong. I mean, she can see him do wrong, and what's right for Lord, ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I used to call up and tell her things about Percy. And you can tell in her voice when she get in that defensive mode. I'm like, okay, I can tell right now you don't want to hear me, so I'm just going to have to check your punk ass on myself.
Yeah. And, I went through a situation. People, I got to say this to you. I know some of you may...
Oh, I ain't cutting you out, but have you seen Percy lately?
No, I haven't.
Oh, he done went for like 300 pounds from 2017. He looked like he ate 100 pounds soaking wet. I kid you not. That Negro just shrunk.
Now, some people in the hood, they'll say it's AIDS, but it's worried too. It could be one or the other.
I don't think it's stress. I don't think it's stress.
Person want to be the governor of this country, and it's not finna happen. We finna send you home. You was a big mistake, and we just need to send the Bland family back home. I want to say this, people. When you start reading things over the internet, one thing I can say, you can check the source and check the credibility of the source. And LoLo has not been shown yet to be wrong, and neither have I. I made a few mistakes. I don't know if she made any, but I made a few, and when I do, I correct them on this show right here. And, can you hear that, Lo?
I can.
What you hear?
You said you haven't been wrong.
See, Lolo remember shit,
that
ain't what I hear.
You said I don't think I've been wrong, but if I have, I corrected on this show. Lola haven't been wrong. Well, at least I don't know if she's been wrong. Something to that effect.
See how good she hear? She hear very well, and she remember this shit 20 years from now. But what I'm really hearing in my damn head is Miss fucking Two Belt say, you finna tell another one of your damn lies. No, I'm not. But I'm finna say this, is that people put things on the internet about me. And I'm going to say it's my baby mama. But just look at the facts. That's all I'm going to say about that. We had a meeting over Zoom, and the things that were discussed there were very private, and we don't supposed to discuss. My baby mama chose to take social media such as Facebook and say things like I was talking to her on the phone, which was a lie. I haven't talked to her on the phone, and the records will be able to prove that. When I did take my daughter home, I would stay at the bottom of the steps to make sure she got in safely. But the things that here's what I want to say, folks, is that My daughter had a forensic physician and a forensic psychologist, and also we had to submit to drug tests, and my daughter's with me. Let the facts speak for themselves. You understand what I'm saying, folks? The state is involved with this thing, and they would not put my daughter in a situation where she's going to be unsafe or anything's going to be wrong with her. And I have my daughter. So people can vent all they want to on Facebook. I'm not going to address that, and I'm going to tell my family don't address it either. I just want to, those of you that did speak up, I'm just going to say thank you. And I really appreciate you guys. Look here now, LoLo Knows. This is what we're going to do. I'm finna be through talking. And then I'm going to let you, the Dice Man got something to say.
Now, I want to read the last two comments.
Okay, well, you can read them.
Sure
and then we're going to let Lo take us home. Lo, you got to say, Lo, you're going to say, Dice going to read the comments next, folks. And then Lo going to say, take us home, Dice Man. And that's going to be the end of the show.
Okay, sound good. All right. Patricia Allen said, I was the one that suggested Dwayne Davis to show that movie. I'm just tuning in. Hello, Eddie, Dice, and my beloved fat sister. Well, wait a minute. Let me say it right. My beloved sister, Fat Mama. I was about to mess that up.
Now, yeah, you was the one that suggested him to show that movie, but it wasn't Saturday. You had told him to share it some times ago.
Yeah.
When the guy first passed away.
And Trish, I think
but we didn't elect him in office or get behind him to play movie.
Yeah. And Trish, you know what? It's a very good movie. But we can't let him use things like that in order to bamboozle us or to distract us from the issues at hand. And we have a lot of issues in the city of Meridian that he's not addressing in his community and taking credit for things that is not his idea, that he has not done. And he's a liar. It's time for him to go. Lord, I'm really thinking about running against this man. Hey, Dwayne Davis, I'll tell you, if I get Low tell me to go, I'm gone. Dice, if you tell me to go, I'm going.
I told you to go last time.
Can I go this time?
Absolutely. You had it in the bank
Y'all heard here. Okay, now, Dice, anything else you want to say?
Yeah, we got one more.
Okay.
And I think it's very appropriate. Penny Holt says, good show.
What up, Penny?
You know that ain't Penny. That's Miss Two-Bell.
That's Miss I'm not offering to tell you who it was.
Helen Low and Seconds Hall.
Hey, look, check this out. Penny, your husband, Red, oh, my God, what years was? Around 90, 93. He sung that song, Stoop Down, Baby, Let Your Daddy See. He had on that shirt. It was like one of them checkerboard shirts. He had on them pants. Now, I mean, he was working that stage. And he opened up for Jay Blackfoot. And I'm like, damn, Jay Blackfoot should have opened up for him because Red stole the show. But anyway, I'm going to say this right here. Dice, go ahead and take us home.